Alright, what's going on, you fam? Raiyuden here. So the 3rd year anniversary celebratory video has just finished, the reveals and stuff, and we got quite a bit of details relating to the 3rd year anniversary celebration. So just quickly going through some of the events that they have announced, we got quite a bit of awesome goodies, starting with obviously the nice little 6 free-to-play Gokus that we can all farm up, the last one coming on reset, which is cool. I think we can all say, like, even though all the animations are recycled, I just appreciate being able to get some free characters. I think we should just give thanks to the fact that they even provided something like this. It's just cool, something a little bit fun, and it wasn't like it's a chore to get these characters either. They came relatively quick, and it gave us something to do. So kudos for that. I think it's completely fine, and I think you'll notice in the showcase for the Super Saiyan God Goku, he's pretty good. So it's not like that they're all rendered useless. He's not a bad potential option. Now going after that, they've also announced that they're going to be providing us, oh, by the way, Toshi saying that he is a fan of Super Saiyan 3 personally. Gotta say, Toshi, I see you and I are big brain. We see eye to eye. So I do appreciate a fellow intellectual and cultured man understanding the significance and the beauty that is Super Saiyan 3. Very big brain. So, next thing that they've announced is we're going to be getting 333 max summons. So for a banner, similar to the 2nd year, we're going to be given tickets from various different events and login bonuses and missions that allow us to summon on some banner featuring a bunch of different sparkings. Now for some of you, this may not be very useful, especially for veteran players, but it's really to incentivize newer players that are just joining into the game to be able to structure proper teams. You can notice that there is a bit of GT, a bit of future, and that's understandably so because that seems to be the, I guess, sort of the focus of this celebration. So once again, pretty cool. Nice little opportunity to summon and get some stars on maybe some units that a lot of us needed or maybe didn't have, and whatever. It's going to be a benefit to free-to-play players or new players that are joining the team. So that's awesome. Thank you for that as well. Now going after that, they also are providing, if I can quickly go right to it, a 5 consecutive week anniversary raid. So it sounds like every week we're going to be facing a new opponent. We're going to be getting an opportunity to farm up those good old medals that provide us Chrono Crystals, Zenkai Souls, Super Souls, all the other goodies that we always like. And we have the opportunity to be earning multi-Z power, which is nice. Another opportunity to get some stars on some sparking units. So that's always cool, gives us something to do. I think we all like raids. My hope though is that the exchange shop will reset maybe after every 2 weeks, because a 5-week raid after you deplete the entire shop very early, I don't know, would be a little bit we'll have to see. So that's pretty cool to have as well. They also mentioned something about the potential to earn Legends Limited Multi-Z power. But anyways, they have this other potential, not potential, but banner to summon another thanks for 3 years, which has some pretty cool units here. Red Cell's pretty much been on every banner since his existence. Same with this Vegito and same with Merge Zamasu. So it's probably going to be another thing that's great for new players, because anniversaries always generate a lot of hype and always bring in newer players. So these are mainly for those guys just to be able to make their entire teams very, very quickly. So worst case, if it's not going to be of any use for anyone, at least we get to exchange it for those good old coins. Hopefully they're going to be updating that shop as well. We got this other little cool thing, the Hoi Poi little event here that you can use to exchange for some other goodies here. Nice to see rare metals there, because I'm sure a lot of us have not spent a single rare metal ever since we saw the cost that came with Ultra Goku. We're all hoarding this stuff for whenever the next Ultra unit is going to show up. So it's great for them to give us another opportunity to stockpile some more. But alongside it is obvious the beautiful erasers, because I'm sure a lot of equips are going to be dropping as well. I'm sure we all like to get those shiny Z tier equips, which is cool. This is also a summon, I believe they said, with the Hoi Poi coins, which is cool. And I think it was this event where they said that you have the opportunity to get the Legends Limited Multi-Z power. If I can go through it quickly. Yeah, there we go. So you have the opportunity of earning multi-Z power for Legends limited characters. I would assume that this means, because it is a summon, it's going to be like Legends limited drop chance, where you got your 0.25 or 0.5% chance to get maybe 100 multi-Z power for Legends limited characters. That's how I imagine it's going to be. I still think it's cool that the opportunity exists, because the Hoi Point coins, I'm pretty sure, are only obtainable through events. It's not a summonable thing, so it's an extra little bit of goodies, which is cool. I like the additional event. You're going to be getting it from finishing events and missions and stuff like that, which is great. And then going past that, it seems like they also provided some more goodies. If I can go to the next one, good old login bonus. We had a great login bonus for second year, so it's great to see that return here. Going to be getting different coins, going to be getting chrono crystals, tickets for sure as well for the summons, which, going back to what I mentioned before, is going to be great for new players and players that are maybe just looking to star up some of their teams. So that's going to be awesome. And then if we continue on, we got our special missions, which it's just going to be feeding more into what I mentioned before. More tickets, more chrono crystals. So it's already looking great in terms of the abundance of chrono crystals they're going to be providing, because I'm sure a lot of people are focusing primarily on that. They want a lot of chrono crystals because the characters are unbelievably hype to me. I think they're super, super cool, and I think a lot of people are looking forward to them. Now, if we just keep moving on, champion bonus, 1,000 chrono crystals, awesome. Thank you very much for this. So this event alone, 1,000 chrono crystals, certainly probably 1,000 chrono crystals with the login bonuses. We know we get 1,000 chrono crystals with the raid event. Looking pretty damn cool. Looking pretty generous already. Now, if we continue skimming through, they did mention that, saying that they went overboard with the amount that they're providing as part of the 3rd year anniversary, which is cool. And then we got Shenron returning, which was awesome. Being able to earn the potential Dragon Balls has gotten easier now, because all you need to do is provide the image. You no longer have to scan other people's smartphones and stuff like that. So it's nice and painless now. That's awesome. Very, very grateful for this, because this event also gave us 1,000 chrono crystals, which was cool. And even if you didn't collect all the Dragon Balls, you had the opportunity for one of the scans to provide you chrono crystals too. So I guess you could say that it's 1,000 chrono crystals minimum from this, should you choose to go for that. Now, continuing on, we got the chance time, which was cool too. Just a nice little lottery thing here. I don't recall it ever being known who really won this, but you know, it's a nice, you know, gacha in your gacha. It's always cool, free opportunity for people to get some goodies, which is awesome. And then from there, I believe they have various campaigns here. I'm sure for a lot of us that have maybe been playing for a while, this may not provide too much. But again, it goes back to newer players joining. Notice that there's 0 energy cost up to part 7, because they want new players to just go through the story, not have to worry about energy resource management or any of that stuff. They just want you to go straight to it, enjoy the story, see if the game is worth investing your time into. So another thing catering to some newer player campaigns, which is cool. And then if we continue on, there's some other cool stuff. Obviously, getting the English voice actor for Shallot giving his graces, which is awesome. Shout out to the homie, Alejandro. And then we also have the Japanese voice actor providing same old graces. Shout out to the homies for voicing our favorite protagonist in the game. And if we continue on from here, we also have the good old Japanese VA for Goku. Obviously, we respect and protect the homie. So, and then from there, they also provided us with this good old Sparking Super Scout Battle. So some Z power for some GT characters, Z power for Fusion Warriors, and Z power for Future, because it's pretty obvious that's what the general theme is for this celebration: Fusion Warrior, GT, and Future. Because at this point, I'm sure a lot of you already know what the LFs are. This kind of scares me, because the last time we had an acquisition event like this, I'm pretty sure that character got a Zenkai Awakening. Did they not? Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but I don't know. Kind of spooky that this boy over here is being given for free all of a sudden. Why him in particular? I don't know. It would be kind of spooky if this guy got a Zenkai Awakening, but I think a lot of people would be welcome of it just because he's just so cool. He's just so oh. There it is. There it is. The foreshadowing of the inevitable. Now, going on from there, surprised you. I think this is awesome. If you do not, you're able to choose any character that is released up to December of 2020 for free. You just get the character. Whether or not that's 100 Z power or 600 Z power, I'm not sure, but you just get the character. You get to choose anyone you want. And of course, Goku Black is in the dead center because of all the Sparkings that have released since then, excluding Legends Limited characters, he stands as one of the best. So I think this is really damn cool. I think this is a pretty underrated thing that they did. This is nothing short of amazing that they provided you the opportunity to get any character you want. I see some comments where people say that even now they don't have Votto. So here you go. Here's your opportunity to get one of the best supports in the game for free, no hassle. You just go and get the character. That's amazing. Already looking great for the 3rd year anniversary. Now continuing on from there, we got the new characters. Now here's a GT theme. I'm going to not say anything, of course.
Die! Nobody can beat me when I'm Super 17. This is the end. Revenge that ball. What a terrible way to die. Just spare my life. You're mine. That's what a real fight is like. Your worst attack.
So, I'm not gonna lie, I thought the first 2 characters that they were showing off was just them saying, hey, look at that, don't forget that GT has Super Baby and Super 17. I thought it was them just showing off some of the characters that they were planning on buffing up, but those 2 are new EXs for GT and 2 new Sparkings. Goes to show that they acknowledge that GT definitely needed some help. So I would imagine that the EXs have some pretty good Z abilities for GT, and the new Sparkings, of course, are very, very strong. GT definitely needs the help. Definitely needs some new Sparking units. So starting with Eis Shenron. I don't want to mispronounce it, but so this character kind of reminds me a little bit like Ultimate Gohan, but with some extra quirks that some players may find annoying. So he's a blue range type, which is awesome. While on the battlefield, seal enemy strike arts when enemy switches characters, just like the Ultimate Gohan, which will catch a lot of people off guard. Even now, when people run Ultimate Gohan, they tend to forget that he seals in strike cards and they just look at you, staring just at you, completely forgetting that they can't use any strike cards, and then you just hit him in the face. That happens all the time, so for this character to provide that is pretty spooky. Now, every time he's faced with an enemy, he inflicts the enemy with the downgrade. You take extra damage, they take away some of your ki, your sub count goes up, and you have a reduced vanish gauge recovery, which is a pretty big deal if you ask me. I think this is a little bit underrated because I know a lot of us, if you have an aggressive play style, oftentimes when you go for a blast card, your opponent vanishes, you'll tap attack to put him dead in the water. With a minus 50% to vanish gauge recovery, they will not restore their vanish gauge quick enough after you tap attack to get away from you and get another vanish. As you may know, when you tap attack an opponent, their vanish gauge recovery is sped up. So this works pretty damn well alongside that. But the fact that you're able to provide this debuff, take away their ki, and have this increased sub count debuff, pretty damn spooky. That's pretty detrimental. How much this is and how much this is, we don't know yet. But because GT needs some new units, I would imagine it's rather substantial. Don't forget what that red Frieza does. Like, what is it, minus 50 ki on blast card? What if this is minus 50 ki? What if this is plus 50% extra damage? Who knows? It could be a ton. Now, when he uses his main ability, your opponent loses their vanish. That's insane. Remember, that was exclusive to Pycon's Green and EX Super Vegeta's main ability. So now a Sparking on GT who's probably going to be part of your core, has this main ability. You lose your Vanish Gauge, they restore 50 ki, and they reduce sub count for other GT battle members, and they get a blue card. It's the basic perfect combo for you. No Vanish Gauge, they're going to swap out to someone with a blue card that has blast armor, and then they're just going to go ahead and pop it. AKA, that's pretty damn good for the Super Saiyan 4 Dragon Fist Goku. This is pretty much the wombo combo for him to go and try to seal you off, which is scary. That's not very good for a lot of last stand units. Now after that, as part of the next little bits of his kit here, when his special arts activates, reduce damage received and destroy all your enemies' special move, awaken an ultimate arts cost. Counter will activate upon enemy tap attack, tackle, or strike arts attack while in fighting pose. So his green card is a counter attack, counter mechanic, as you saw before, where he's begging for his life and he slashes Goku's eyes with his ice nails right there. That's what this is here. So that's pretty damn cool. Nice little debuff there. Tackle or strike arts attack while fighting pose, so it works against all of those. When the counter activates, immobilize the enemy and increase own damage inflicted and increase next special move damage inflicted. So you can't do anything, kind of like green Super Saiyan Gogeta's green card, I suppose. You're immobilized, you just stand there, and then they could basically just do whatever they need. The green card combo paired alongside the main ability is pretty damn spooky, just because it can quickly go to another unit and finish you off. How much sub count reduction he has as part of his main ability, we don't know, but if it's 10, holy crap, the combination of this guy with the Super Saiyan 4 Goku Dragon Fist is really scary, because he nullifies endurance and his ult is a super hard hitting ult. Would be pretty spooky. And then his Z ability is just going to be GT, blast, attack, and defense, and of course the little extra should you be a Shadow Dragon, which is cool. I like that. That's a very strong kit. And the next one is Nuova Shenron. A bit unfortunate that he's yellow, but it makes sense because they didn't want the yellow slot to be exclusive to an LF. But I guess if you do have the LF, then it might, I don't know, I guess you have to make that choice. But special arts can nullify enemy attacks, excluding certain moves like a Rising Rush, and knock the enemy back to long range if they are at close range, and restore own ki and increase strike damage inflicted. Comboable with Strike Blast or special move. Exactly like the green Buhan. So they come up to you, barrier, you can go ahead and chain in if they're close to you. Pretty damn good. The restoring the ki and increasing strike damage inflicted is pretty nice, because I'm sure a lot of us have been in situations where you get enough ki just to use the barrier. Sometimes you aren't able to follow it up, but now you have the opportunity to follow it up. So you have the ki. His main ability inflicts all allies and enemies with no switching, and restores own Vanish Gauge by 100%, and increases damage inflicted, and destroy all of your own and enemy cards, and increases own arts card draw speed. This is the most mono main ability of all time. So if you guys remember Shugesh, his main ability, the EX one, he's able to do the same thing where he locks himself in order to get extra damage inflicted. This is sort of the same thing. He basically feels like Bardock with less restrictions here. You lose all your cards, opponent loses all his cards, you're both locked in, but you have your Vanish now and you have card draw speed. So basically you're going to be quicker to getting the first hit in. Pretty damn good. That's a pretty neat-o mechanic if you were to ask me. Now next, he has the plus 10% to strike damage inflicted for Dragon Ball, which is cool. And then he gets the following effects per timer counts that he is on the battlefield. So 3 timer counts, you'll have the increased damage inflicted, 5 timer counts the card draw speed, and 8 timer counts the restore ki by 50. I'm sure you guys can already see what they're trying to do with this character. They want you to have this guy be on the battlefield a little bit, try to get the upper hand, and then pop that main ability to just seal the deal. Because remember, when he pops the main ability, he increases his own card draw speed. So if he's on the battlefield after 5 timer counts, he has level 2 card draw speed after you pop that main ability. So you for sure are going to be getting that first hit on your opponent, and the restore ki by 50 is just for you to continue your onslaught. Because if you already have priority at this point, after you pop the main ability, the restore ki by 50 is just the extra cherry on top to the beatdown that you're giving to your opponent's character. It's a pretty devastating situation to have right here. So you're already beating the crap out of them. Here's an extra 50 ki to keep it going. Pretty deadly kit, if you ask me. Z ability is strike, attack, and defense. Thank goodness, because GT is riddled with a bunch of single Z ability buffers. And of course, if you're a Shadow Dragon, here's a little salt-based sprinkle of some extras. Now moving on, as you may or may not know, we have some other characters on the future side. We got a Vegito Blue, which surprised the crap out of me that Vegito Blue is here. Oh wait, I should be playing the video without saying anything.
It's okay not to be as good as me. Don't think so. Have a nice trip. That's right, I won. I'm not done.
Alright, there we go. So, a new Vegito Blue, Kefla, and Corrupt Zamasu being the LF, which I'm sure a lot of us have already guessed. The clues pretty much fed into that, but I find it weird that it's Vegito Blue. Am I the only one that finds that weird? I find it a little weird that it's going to be Vegito Blue here, but anyways, in terms of Vegito Blue's kit, well, I guess they started out with Kefla, but it looks like Fusion Warriors are eating pretty good today. She is a red. When she enters the battlefield, increases damage inflicted, reduce damage received, and increases key recovery. So your standard old show up on the battlefield, here's a bunch of buffs, nobody can take it away. And then every time she uses a strike or blast card, restores own key, activates 3 times, and increases damage inflicted, activates once. How nice of them to go ahead and limit this, because otherwise that would be insane. Super Saiyan God Goku, the free-to-play one, does a good example of showing this, where he gets 10 key every time he uses a strike or blast card, and he increases damage inflicted by 20%. If there's no cap on that one, so you can kind of just keep on going and going and going. And for a new sparking leading in an anniversary, it's a good thing they capped it. Otherwise it'd just be stupidly busted. I don't want a repeat of the Kefla we dealt with last time. Now, every time her own attack is evaded with a Vanish Step, she restores key and increases damage inflicted and restores Vanish Gauge, and randomly draws 1 new card when you have 3 or fewer, which is pretty interesting, I suppose. The idea being that you still go on the offensive even though you don't have Vanish, and you restore it so that you can dodge again to catch your opponent off guard. You know the Super Saiyan God Vegeta, the transforming one that nobody seems to like, that has that really fast Vanish Gauge restore, and he recovers what, 60% after he dodges or something like that. I think they're trying to go with the same thing here. The idea being that you don't expect her to have Vanish, and then she just beats you up again. I think that's the whole point that they're trying to do here. I don't know. And then she also has the nullifying special actions that activate when changing cover. So again, it looks like Fusion Warriors have a unit that doesn't care about your LF Super Saiyan 3 instant transmission, your Bojack, your Vegito Blue. No cover changes anymore. So Fusion Warrior is definitely eating good. And then she restores healing when she pops a green, and her Z ability is Rival Universe, Fusion Warrior, or Tag Girls, Strike Attack, and Blast Defense. I find that weird. Strike Attack and Blast Defense. I don't know if they meant double offense. I don't know if they meant strike defense, but Strike Attack and Blast Defense. That's something they do in like the first 6 months of Legends. So I don't know what that is. But okay, and then the very confusing, but I guess not surprising because they love future Super Saiyan God Vegito. Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, I should say. Purple. Makes sense. Fusion Warriors needed a new purple. So, increases its own damage inflicted. Cannot be cancelled. Reduces damage received. Cannot be cancelled. And -10 to blast arts cost. Cannot be cancelled when the battle starts. So your standard old thing, just like Kefla. I find it weird that he's range type, actually. You know, he's flexing his spirit sword, but let's go ahead and make him range for whatever reason. Increases allied Fusion Warrior, God Key, or future damage inflicted and key recovery when he goes on standby. Does nobody find it weird that he's a support? He's sort of like a support unit. I find that so strange. It's Vegito Blue. He has a support passive? I don't understand. very, very weird. I think they just gave it to him because Fusion Warriors don't really have much of a support outside of the EX Gogeta. I don't know. I guess they realized Fusion Warriors needed a purple and a support, so they just put it together. I don't know, but that's pretty strong. And then next part of his passives here. When this character enters the battlefield, increases next blast arts damage inflicted and draws a random card when you have 3 or fewer cards. I don't like this passive. Drawing a random card, I'm not a fan of those really. I would have preferred if it was guaranteed maybe a blast, but then again, that would just turn into more craziness, you know. There's a reason why we don't see a lot of Purple Super Saiyan 3 Gokus, the Zenkai one, because that passive of guaranteeing another card that's drawn is kind of strong, especially with Fusion Warriors that just chain cards forever. And then his next passive, when you pop a green, restore key and increase card draw speed, and then inflicts all enemies with no switching. Oh. His green card is a melee based one, so it's not one that you can pop and stop time. It's one that you gotta connect. And then if you hit the opponent, you take away a Dragon Ball and destroy all of your enemies' green cards, which is cool. And then there's the abilities Fusion Warrior, God Key, or Future, Blast Attack, and Strike Defense. I still don't know if this is what they're intending for. I don't know if they meant Blast Attack and Blast Defense, or Strike Attack and Strike Defense. That's very weird, but oh well. I guess that is what it is. And then, of course, what we were all expecting is the Legends Limited God Key unit, the much needed red type for them. Is gonna be the Corrupt Zamasu. I called it a long time ago that they're gonna leave the much needed red for a Legends Limited character, and here it is. And this guy seems ridiculous, to be honest. When defeated, increases ally damage inflicted and increases all enemy attribute downgrade -1 to card draw speed, and inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade health restoration. So that seems pretty damn ridiculous. He's mainly meant to be a strong disrupt. He has a special cover change that knocks the enemy back to long range if a cover change is performed against a strike arts attack. And then every time he uses a strike or blast, he increases his own damage inflicted. Notice how there's no cap there. So just like the LF Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, every time he throws a card, he's just going to be stacking damage and stacking. And then the following effects occur according to enemy actions when this character is on the battlefield. When an enemy lands a strike or blast card, reduce enemy key and reduce his own damage received. They got to be careful with this passive. I really hope this guy's stats don't suck, because we know how many characters have we seen where you're going to be banking on your opponent hitting you for you to become tankier, and your stats suffer for it. So if you sidestep, one blue card just folds you like a wet noodle. Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 4 Goku is a symptom of this. I really hope that they're careful with how this works, but the reduced key and reduced damage received, basically fusing that purple Super Saiyan God Goku and green Goku Black together, could be a bit annoying. And then if the enemy switches, restore on vanish gauge by 50%, so you basically stay on the field for quite a while. And then when an enemy is defeated, except by the self-destruct, which is interesting, destroy all of your enemy's cards. Look at that. So I guess that's pretty imperative for like a Rising Rush, because your opponent is not going to be able to, you know, open up with a tackle and start comboing with you, because that happens all the time. And then his Z ability is he starts buffing God Key. I'm going to be honest with you, I thought it was going to be Powerful Opponent, Future, and then God Key, but it looks like because they knew that God Key needs a new red, they opened up with it. I say that's a pretty bro moment, so, you know, thanks Legends for that, which is cool. But one thing, the biggest thing to take away from this whole thing is they never, ever give the real meat and potatoes details of these characters. They often always put minor details, and the important stuff is not mentioned at all. So what may sound good could be way better, and what sounds bad is not even close to what we think. Because remember, when they revealed Topo, the whole Pride Troopers with the UI Goku, they completely neglected to mention that Topo had endurance, which is I don't know about you guys, but that's a pretty big deal. So these are just the tidbits that they decided to share. Wait until we get the full details of what they can do. For all we know, every character is going to read like a dictionary, and the details are insane, and their stats are stupid as well. Who really knows? Who really knows? And of course, the cherry on top for this whole thing is the infamous absolute infamous counter to the god, our good old monkey boy.
Yeah, that's the spot. Disappear! Stupid dummy! 100 times?
And there you have it. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta confirmed. We don't know what his details are. I find it weird that they called it the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta release celebration, because that sounds like it's outside of the 3rd year anniversary. I wonder, I'm wondering if they're gonna make him the second part LF, and that for now we only get Corrupt Zamasu. I don't know. But either way, that's sort of the full, not really the full details, but the details that maybe you guys care about that I wanted to discuss with you. Let me know in the comment section below if you want me to continue doing these things. I like talking with you guys about them, but I don't know. Maybe it's not what people want to hear or see, because it can translate to a long discussion. I don't really know. Anyways, hopefully you guys are excited. I'm certainly excited for these characters, looking forward to what they can do, and my hope is that maybe they could shake up the meta, just because things are obviously getting a tad bit stale. I'm sure a lot of people agree. So let me know in the comment section below, who are you most hyped for? What are you hoping out of these characters? And most of all, what is it from this celebration that you're banking on? And until next time, peace.